Technical issues. Welcome. Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel in the right voice this time. I hope you guys are all doing very, very well. We're going to have a look at this game here because, I thought top line is that Arsenal actually a little bit unlucky with some of the moments in this game, but also had some absolute nightmares as well. Let's have a look at the stats. Let's get straight into it. Actually, before we do, if you can, smash the like button and hit subscribe to this glorious channel. There's going to be some interesting videos on the channel coming up soon, and actually one that I put up yesterday might be one for a lot of Arsenal fans as well, looking at the passing combinations of different teams. And Arsenal's ones in particular, because they kind of reverted back to the old Arsenal way, probably because of some of the injuries. But let's get into it. So in terms of, because I think we need to remember some of these statistics here, because the goal changes everything, and I think that's a big part of the context here. We could talk about Concert, because I tweeted about Concert, and some liked it, some didn't. My take on it is that, well, I'll tell you that in a second. But Arsenal, look, 67% of the possession, 33% possession against Aston Villa. Look, the big reason that wouldn't be the same way if Aston Villa don't score this early goal. That early goal massively, massively changes the game for me in a huge way. Of course it does. And I've got to say, Cedric, the first 10 minutes of a game is so important because teams come flying out and you can't make silly, stupid decisions. And Cedric, who overall I quite like as a player, that's terrible from him. Like, absolutely terrible from him. Like, to play that sort of half-hearted pass when you're not sure, when you haven't had that look over your shoulder, it put Gabriel in huge trouble. I think the thing to remember as well is that actually Traore, I thought, was brilliant. Traore is right up there. If he hadn't got sort of taken off, then maybe he would have been one of my sort of men of the match. But I thought the balance that Aston Villa have got, and we'll get into that in a second, is huge. But Traore, right on the front foot, sneaks the ball, gets it to Watkins. And Watkins, who I thought was brilliant, despite the goal almost, because the finish is okay. It sort of sneaks in, and Matty Ryan, who doesn't concedes a goal before ever touching a ball for Arsenal, which is a bit of a nightmare stat for him. Watkins is unfortunate, he's fortunate, when it comes to that goal. As the game progressed, as I said, with those stats, Arsenal then sort of got into the game and dominated the ball. But the problem for me was the use or the lack thereof of Emile Smith-Rowe. I felt like in the second half, the changes that Arteta made were actually really, really good. I really liked them. But the injury to Partey then completely ruined that whole situation for them. But look, the fact that they dominated the balls, I feel like there's a lot of times with Arsenal, there's this lack of kind of just punching through, get the ball to the right players. And that right player for me is Emile Smith-Rowe. First half, you didn't really see it at all. Villa I've got in purple, Arsenal in blue. Emile Smith-Rowe he's almost too selfless. This is the problem for Arsenal and Emile Smith-Rowe. And there'll be games like this where the selflessness of Emile Smith-Rowe will be great. But I think he's at a point in his career where he's not demanding the ball just yet. He's kind of coming into these nice spaces and gets on the ball, and that's fine. But he doesn't demand the ball, and he doesn't get given the ball quickly enough. And to have 67% of the possession and to have all these sort of blocked shots, second half I thought they were much better. And the change that Arsenal made, which was to essentially play Saka as a left winger, Pepe, who was actually having some good moments, although was overall massively frustrating, playing almost inside here, put Aubameyang on, and then he put Odegaard here. And then you had your back four. Saka's supposedly a left back without the ball. But Partey would be your defensive midfielder. You had your two centre-backs. Emile Smith-Rowe came over to his right-hand side. Odegaard was the one who's going to kind of dominate and get on the ball. And Xhaka almost played like a auxiliary kind of centre-back on the left-hand side. The problem with this is they had it for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. And then Partey got injured. So this scenario here, I actually quite liked it, and I think Arsenal would have got themselves back into the game if it had have sort of stayed this way. Because Xhaka is someone who commits players and gets them involved and sort of takes them out of the game. You had Xhaka here who's just playing that sort of simple pass across to Xhaka, Sorry, that's all he was going to do is play that pass over to him. And then Odegaard, this is what I like about Odegaard, is that Odegaard stands still and demands the ball. So I thought this way of playing and these moves that he made were really good, because in the first half there was this sort of over-reliance on the right-hand side with Xhaka, because Pepe comes inside, Cedric comes inside and doesn't get involved. This led to a lot more balance, and Smith Rowe, because of his intelligence, could make these runs into the box. And I felt like a goal was coming. But as soon as Partey has to come off, instead of having a player like Pepe here, you then have a player like Pepe playing actually over on the right. I think he was playing on the right-hand side. Yeah, I think he had to do that because Willian had to come onto the pitch, which means because Xhaka was ruined. Willian comes and sits here. Pepe comes over to play as a front two. Odegaard's kind of in his own space and Willian's own space, and Xhaka can't do the same kind of movement that he wanted to. And I think that massively hurt Arsenal in this game. Let me know what you guys think in the chat here, because I think that was a big turning point in the game. Partey doesn't get injured. I feel like they dominate the game and get themselves a victory. That said, Aston Villa deserve massive respect for the way they played this game, because actually throughout the pitch, they've just got such balance for me, such quality in terms of like the sort of the individual profiles. Because some people say this is a shock result. It's not a shock result, because man for man, are Arsenal better than Aston Villa? I'm not sure. Or certainly the team that was put out there today. I think if you get the best of Odegaard, and if you've got Aubameyang on the pitch, then profile-wise, man for man, you would say Arsenal are the better side. And again, Arsenal played well in moments, but the thing that frustrates me is that there's just that lack of like punch. It's that lack of punch. There's too much side-to-side football. And players like Pepe doing all these step-overs but not committing a man a lot of the time is pointless. Saka, you see the quality that he brings. Smith Rowe, you see the quality that he brings. Odegaard, you see the quality that he brings in terms of those half spaces. But they need to be able to penetrate better and quicker. And the big problem for me is that in the games with Smith Rowe, there's going to be games where Smith Rowe works and there's going to be games where Smith Rowe doesn't work. This was a game where Smith Rowe's selflessness meant that you needed to move him out to the right-hand side, get Odegaard in the middle, a guy who demands the ball and gets on the ball. And they did that, but then Partey getting injured, I just think it's a massive loss for them. Aston Villa, by the way, I've just got to say, the structure that they had, the reason that they scored that goal and then kind of left it to be and thought, look, if we can get one on the counter-attack, then so be it, right? Mings was great. Konsa was great. I think Konsa was great, and now's maybe the time. Does Konsa deserve to be sent off, right? I'll tell you what, honestly, this is just how I saw it as it happened. I felt like Konsa hadn't been totally done for pace in that moment in the first half where Xhaka's on his way. Martin Keown just constantly saying that they were targeting Saka. Of course you're going to target Saka a little bit and give away smart fouls in certain areas of the pitch. And of course, Arsenal fans, you should be massively frustrated with all of that. I get it. But when there was such a kind of reliance down that right-hand side, then there's going to be a few moments. And in terms of like targeting Saka when there's like a ball through, Konsa, I think, he does put his hand on his shoulder, but I think he's got the pace to get back, and I think he's about to make his tackle, and Saka clips his heel. A lot of people won't like that, but that is my opinion on it. And so you can see, and you can see that by the fact that Konsa was so annoyed when it all went down. And regardless, what I didn't like was there's just like quick look to go, oh, okay, he's got to be sent off. Like that's the kind of the be all and end all, and that's how it has to be. Like he's miles away from the goal as well. So it's never a sending off. So if you want to hang your hat on this supposed possible sending off, I don't get that at all, to be honest. Because I feel like he was about to get the ball and he got his ankle clicked. It's different to the David Luiz one, because David Luiz is miles behind the player, and he knows what he's doing in terms of running too fast to kind of take that clip. Again, in my opinion. With this one, Konsa's eyes are on the ball. Konsa's got the pace to get back, and Konsa's about to get it back. Philip Woodard agrees. Interesting. Thank you. I just think, look, there's going to be this kind of you're going to look for a scapegoat in this game. Here's the scapegoat. you first of all, this isn't Aston Villa of last year. This is one of the most improved teams in the Premier League. Fact. Okay. Second of all, you give away a silly goal due to Cedric, and Aston Villa got something to defend, right? Thirdly, you've got a team that doesn't make too many changes. I mean, Nakamba came in and just offered up that security. I thought he had a really good game for them. Douglas Luiz is obviously a brilliant player. I've said that myself on this channel. But generally, that one change. Otherwise, you've got a back four that plays all the time. Martinez plays all the time. The midfield knows what they're doing. And what I really like, actually, I've got to say, Watkins. I think Watkins is such a complete forward. Such a complete forward. For him, there was a few moments in the sort of second half of the first half where they were able to kind of look for that ball over the top. The fact that he can create his own chances, which he did numerous times in this game. The fact that he can lead the line on his own. The fact that he can come short as well. Such a good player. Such a good player. And he nearly got himself a second goal in this. I thought he made it very difficult on that right-hand side for Hector Bellerin and Holding. And Ross Barkley and Traore and Grealish, you've got these really nice hybrid forward midfielders, if you know what I mean, who are willing to put the work in. And Traore, you would have thought him coming across as a sort of, is he a forward, is he a winger? He has slotted in brilliantly there. And the balance of the whole team, you've just got a little element of everything that you want. It's just it's so nice. You've got to be so excited if you're an Aston Villa fan, because Watkins can go either way. You had Barkley, who's there to help him when he can do, but he also can go either side of him. Brian Traore defensively puts the work in. I was watching him a lot of the time. But also, he's often trying to make this run here to kind of go and support him. Barkley's going to sort of work around this area. McGinn fills in the spaces where Barkley goes and makes those runs, or Traore makes those runs. So good in terms of his energy. Nakamba just sat in front of the back line, and Douglas Luiz does the exact same thing otherwise. Grealish, again, as the skipper of the side, does put all that work in. I thought Grealish was really quiet in this game. But, again, they're just lovely balance. He was the one that actually probably stayed a lot wider at the moment to allow Barkley the spaces to get into. Probably a frustrating one for Barkley. You could see that in the way that he acted when he came off. And then Matty Cash, I think, is great. And again, a big thing as well, 5'11", Traore 5'11", Barkley, big, solid, Grealish, big, solid, wins loads of fouls for the team. Two big centre-backs. Cash, not your normal full-back, he's sort of big, solid. Do you know what I mean? McGinn, so much stamina, getting everywhere. It's a really well-balanced team. Really, really well-balanced. And Martinez is, what a goalkeeper. Where has he been hiding? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah. It was a pen, though. Martinez brought him down. Did he? I'm trying to remember that one. Anyway, Aston Villa really good. Superb. And again, I would say, Arsenal fans, don't beat yourselves up about this. I think there's a few tweaks there. And I think Arteta was really unfortunate with the changes that he made. I think he knows Willian is not a player for this team anymore. And he's had a bit of a nightmare there. And I think Smith Rowe is going to learn so much from Odegaard, I think, because there needs to be games. And again, it feels like I'm digging Smith Rowe out, but he's so selfless, it's going to frustrate at some point. And in that first half, when they've given away that initial goal, and it's very obvious that Arsenal are going down that right-hand side, Smith Rowe needs to demand the ball a little bit more. Because you've got someone like Cedric who's going to play on his right foot, who's going to look for that player. Xhaka is only going to sit there. He's very limited, Xhaka. So Smith Rowe needed to be that guy to play in those half spaces, because otherwise Xhaka was just on his own, just completely on his own. And targeting or not targeting, Aston Villa were able to stop him. It's interesting. Like I say, can't take Arsenal. If you'd have got a draw out of that game, that would have been a completely fair result. It was almost unfortunate that you gave away that first goal, but that is an error coming from your own team. Don't use the Konsa thing as an excuse. That's just nothing for me. Aston Villa, look, bit negative in the way that he played, but it's because you had something to defend, man. It's because you had something to defend, so you've got to understand that, and there's going to be a few hairy moments along the way. But I tell you what, this Aston Villa team is going places if they all stick together, because Mings has got years in the clock, but also he's got a few years in the tank. Konsa is really good, He's a really, really good player, and people are sleeping on him. Amazing. Let me know what you think, guys. Got just an awkward win for Aston Villa, but they got it done. Arsenal, just one of those, I think. I think they were a little bit unlucky in terms of the changes that they tried to make. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button to this channel right now. Let's get ourselves up to 75k as soon as possible. Hit the like button as well if you enjoyed it and you like these more casual match reactions. I can do a few more when I watch different games of football.